Hey guys, welcome back to I guess a follow-up video um to my last video that I made. So, I'm going to keep this as structured as I can, right? So, when I made the video, it was basically me talking about Bethesda, you know, and I guess me just ranting about a lot of the things that are going on with the studio. And I read some of the comments, I read all the comments really. And some of them were like, you know, I guess you can say two of them I actually were giving me different perspectives. One of them was Obsidian, right? And I'll get into Obsidian in a little bit as well. Um but one was a really long comment, and I read it, and I was thinking about it, and I agree, and I don't disagree with it. Um the premise of the comment is that with every co- person that makes bad things happen or whatever, there's always someone that will make good things happen. And I thought about that for a minute, and I couldn't agree more, because it was one of the things that, yeah, with every bad thing that happens, there's always is going to be somebody, or to basically essentially make it good again. Um Now, I hope that happens to Bethesda. I hope that happens to Obsidian, because, truth be told, I want them to return to form. Now, Obsidian, I haven't really gone too deep in the rabbit hole of Obsidian. Um, but I think after what, Outer Worlds, it kind of went downhill. Um, Avowed wasn't good. I don't know what games they made afterwards, but I know they were working on Avowed. Um, uh because I remember when the Avowed trailer happened, or the teaser trailer, I should say, and it was one of those things where, oh yeah, cool, we're gonna get a Skyrim-esque equivalent. And I've seen videos online where a lot of people tried to do what Skyrim did. The only one I think that really captured what Skyrim did, at least from a gaming perspective, was Fall of Avalon. I think that's what the game is. King Arthur Fall of Avalon. I actually can't remember the game, but I you probably know what I'm talking about. Um Hold on. Actually, let me look it up, because I can't remember the game. Can't remember the game. No, that's not. No. Can't remember the game. What was it? Fall of Avalon? Um Fall of Tainted Grail. Everybody has either heard or has played Tainted Grail, and I gotta be honest with you, it is probably the closest to a Skyrim equivalent that we've ever gotten. I know people were saying Avowed was supposed to be the Skyrim equivalent, but never was. I guess after leadership changes and everything like that, they did a 180 and said, "Hey, we're not going to make a Skyrim equivalent, and make something else entirely." And we got whatever Avowed turned out to be. Um, and look, I don't follow numbers, honestly. I just like to watch news channels and everything like that. But essentially, I'm not going to mention anybody here. But hey, if you want to, if you, the one guy that I think has done it longer, for a lot longer, and is kind of like a blunt person, Legacy Killer, right? He is one of the channels that I would always go to, right? Not for drama related channels, but like a guy that has a perspective of being a fan, but also being one of those guys that takes everything with a grain of salt, right? That's where I'm at, right? Everything Bethesda does, right, nowadays, I always take with a little grain of salt. I don't take it at face value, not anymore. I think those days are over. Now, I think a lot of people are at this very moment, taking everything Bethesda says with a grain of salt, and taking everything not at face value anymore, right? I think gone are the days where, you know, gone are the days where people get excited for a Bethesda game, I think, for the most part. But I could be wrong. And I'd love to be proven wrong, right? But I'm getting ahead of myself. Essentially, I got a comment saying Obsidian was not the same studio it once was. And you're absolutely right. I mean, just look at Avowed and Outer Worlds 2. Outer Worlds 2, although I just heard what I heard, and I don't know how true this is. Maybe you guys can tell me in the comment section below, but I heard that it wasn't very well optimized. And that's something that I value more than anything because my crappy PC probably can't handle the amount of games that are coming out right now. But I heard it wasn't very well optimized. But I know there are worse games out there. The point that I'm trying to make is to put things all into one basket. I take everything every single company says with a grain of salt. I can be a fan on one hand, but also look into it a little bit deeper and with a subjective mind. That's where I'm at right now. I am at a point where I'm a fan of Bethesda, but I take everything subjective, they say subjectively. That's where I'm at. And maybe you guys agree, maybe you guys disagree. That's totally fine and okay. But you know, hey, we all have our opinions, we all have our perspectives. I just want a good game. And look, even if Elder Scrolls 6 comes out, right? Will it be a great game? Probably not. Will it be an okay game or a good game? Maybe. You know, I don't think it'll be top of the line, you know, as Skyrim was, or you know, or as any of those other games were. I don't think it'll be top of the line, right? I think people are at a point where it's been so long um since Elder Scrolls 6 released the Elder Scrolls 6 release trailer. I think people are just tired of the broken promises. I don't know. I could be wrong. Like I said, allow me to open the door to the comment section and just let me know your thoughts. I'll be reading every single one of them. I just wanted to kind of put things into perspective. Anyways, that's about it. And I like I said, the main point that I will drive home here is that I am a fan of video games and a fan of video game studios, but I take everything they do and say with a grain of salt. However, there are a few that is never that I have be slowly becoming a fan of, which is Larian. Larian, you know, regardless of what other people say about them using AI and everything, I really don't care as long as it's a good game. Um, as long as it's a good game, I don't really care, right? That's all I care about. Gameplay and everything. Um, Now it could be a good story on top of that, and that'd be just be icing on the cake for that. But I have more faith in Larian, really, I do. But I'm not going to put too much faith in Larian than I have in Bethesda. That's just bottom line, and I think a lot of people may agree with that. I think after the Divinity trailer, you know, I think a lot of people have a lot of faith. Maybe, who knows? But people are still trashing on it, so who knows? Um, but yeah, like I said, I open the comment section to you guys, and I obviously keep it civil. I don't want a war in the comment section. But I just wanted to, you know, ask you guys: do you have the same mindset as me? And if not, let me know. And if that mindset is like, yeah, I take everything subjectively now because of all the games that are coming out, let me know. Like, you know, or do you have faith in Bethesda fully? Let me know as well. You know, I'd love to have a discussion down in the comment section below. Anyways, guys, I just wanted to make a follow-up video. Yeah, that's about it. See you.